there guys, this is me, Malorian, and what we're going to be talking about in this video is Spray Debacle 2019. So, wow, I thought today might actually be a boring day. I was just going to go to work, get some things done, relax, nothing really to be done, and then no. Boom, threads exploding where they're talking about the spray template, and man, this is going to blow your mind. And this is such a silly thing. It's actually kind of funny because I can't remember if it was last week or whenever our group was actually started talking about this. Like, oh, did you know this? Oh, no, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't a big deal. It's like, huh, that's interesting. But when this came out now today, it just blew people's minds. So let's jump into it. I'll tell you what the whole thing is going on and how it doesn't really even matter. So it all starts off with this little thing here. Now this one's kind of slightly wrong because I think it's made by different. Oh, it's this official Hordes one, so that's perfect. I was worried I had grabbed like a third-party one, but no, I got one from Privateer Press here. Now here's the thing when it comes to these sprays. This has 3 different settings. There's the 6-inch, the 8-inch, and the 10-inch. Now, if you look at this here, not only does it come with a nice little knob at the bottom that breaks very easy, that's a whole different video, but if I take this nice 10-inch thing here, and I line this up on the side, it's going to match perfectly. Wow, that's magic. It's almost as if 10 inches is 10 inches. Well, here's the thing. Let's look at how this is actually made. This is not a curve as it goes along. Basically, if I was to go up one side, and let's put this down here again, if this goes up one side here, this is a 90-degree angle. Same thing over here. This is also another 90-degree angle. And those two lines come, and they come to a point. Okay, there you go. There's design. We'll catch you later. Well, no, just wait up. It turns out that because of the way that that works with math and things, that this distance in the middle is more than 10 inches. So I'm going to line this up here, and I'm going to kind of show you this big difference. Get ready for it. Dun, dun, dun. Can you see it? Can you see how there's that sliver in there? That tiny little sliver, because it's actually more than 10 inches. And so what this actually really means then is that you could have something with a 10-inch spray something that has a 10-inch threat. So let's say a blockader is angry at its buddy Nomad, and because the Nomad is speed 5, charges the 8, reach 2 inches, so it threats 10, my 10-inch spray can hit the Nomad, but the 10-inch charge threat Nomad can't get back at the blockader. Doesn't make sense, right? 10 inches is 10 inches. This is ridiculous. Blah, 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 blah. There's something wrong with this template. Well, so there's the reality. There's the facts of what it is. But let's actually kind of look into what this actually means and what it comes down to. First of all, this is the template. It's always been the template. It's always been like this. And the fact that this was built with a 90-degree angle and had this little point in the middle has always been, and it's never been an issue. For those who kind of like measured the side as 10 inches, you've been doing it right. It's 10 inches. You're good. But for some reason you were like measuring and using like the center line for 10 inches, oh, then you were cheating and you're bad. You should like slap your hand and go to a corner or something. Now, here's the main thing though. This is more than 10 inches in the middle. That's just the fact. So if you are having this situation where a blockader is going to be spraying a Nomad at maximum distance, then technically you could be in a spot where you're spraying it and it can't charge you back. Now, that's great and all, and it might be a good keen thing to know, but let's also kind of think of what this actually means. 1, you need to actually have a model that has a 10-inch spray. If you have something that has no spray, or a 6-inch spray, or even an 8-inch spray, listen, things threat more than 8 inches, so that doesn't matter. It only matters if you have a 10-inch spray that you might run into something that will be exactly a 10-inch threat. And that's number 2. You have to be up against something that actually threats 10. because if it threats 9, if it threats 8, if it threats 11, if it threats 12, any other number, it doesn't matter because one out-threats or the other. It's just that's the way how math works. So it has to be exactly 10. And then thirdly, you have to be in a position where you can actually be going for that little, like, point whatever of a millimeter that it is, and that it's like, okay, well, I'm going to be spraying here, but I want to be at this max distance, and I actually can because of terrain or scenario pressure or whatever else. Like a lot of times you need to spray things, you're moving and using terrain or models or stuff like that. But so in this case, the only time that this piece of, factoid is going to matter is when you have that 10-inch spray against a 10-inch threat model, and you can actually be at that full range away and actually still be effective in the game. In that little window, this will now be important for you to know. The thing is, though, is that 10-inch sprays are actually very, very rare. Something that actually has a 10-inch threat is actually very rare as well. I mean, there's actually a lot of things out there that have it, like the Nomad that I just talked about. However, when we're actually looking in the game and what people are playing, sure, there's some things out there, but for the most part, this is a game about alphas. People aren't talking about like, oh wow, you have a 10-inch threat heavy? That's amazing. It's like, well, no, I have a 14-inch threat something. Like that's the type of thing where the game is at. So if you already have like a 10-inch threat, that's already weak. And you're already expecting to be like being out-threat by a thing. So the idea that now there's like one more thing in the world that you have to kind of worry about out-threating you is not really the biggest deal. So I really want to stress the fact that this small window where this actually matters is extremely small. Now, the next thing that you probably want to think about when these things come up is that you should really tell your opponent about it. So what I mean is you could have a conversation before the game, and you could be like, okay, look, this has been Infernal ruled, it's all official, just so you know, a 10-inch spray, if I'm spraying you from outside that, there's that little window where I can spray you and you can't get me back. Okay, cool. You see, I have the 2 sticks here, you can't deny it. Great, let's play the game. Or maybe when you're actually inside the game and you're going there and you're spraying them from exactly that 10 point whatever away. But okay, I'm spraying you, and as you can see, I'm in exactly the spot where I'm spraying you, and you can't get me back, okay? And I think as long as we're all reasonable and rational, we're going to find this is no problem at all. It's almost never going to come up. When it comes up, it's going to come up pretty much with people who will explain it. I mean, I'm sure out there's some jerk that can't wait, like, oh, I can't wait to pull out this perfect thing. I'm going to get a gotcha of the lifetime. But I mean, like, those are extremely rare. This world is full of nice gamers just wanting to have a fun time and having a great game. So if anything, they'll be like, okay, just so I know, like how countercharge counters now I can't remember the name of the spell where you actually get to move away the 3 inches. Oh, why can't I remember this? Anyway, there's already little interactions where if you know the way that things work, you can use them to your advantage. And this is just one more little thing. Just one more admonition. There you go. If you had admonition, you had admonition away, you can re-countercharge the person. So again, it's just like one more little interaction to know. It's nothing really major. It's nothing to freak out about. It's just simple math, and it's just part of the game, and it's always been part of the game, and it's just never been a big deal because it never comes up. This isn't very important. So there you go. Now you're in the know, and hopefully we can get past all this. Bye.